everyone. Today is August 5, 2022. It is 11 a.m. and 22 degrees Celsius. We are here at Dundas Square at Yonge and Dundas, and I'm waiting in the lineup for the city sightseeing tour bus. And here's a map of where the sightseeing tour bus travels to. So the bus starts here at point number 1, and this is at Yonge and Dundas. It goes north on Yonge Street to here, number 2, which is Yonge and Carlton. Then it goes to number 3, which is Yonge and Wellesley. Number 4 is Isabella and Yonge. Number 5 is Yorkville. So it turns west on Yorkville all the way through Yorkville Avenue. It comes down to where the Park Hyatt Hotel is. Then over here, it comes all the way on Bloor Street west. It goes north on Spadina all the way to number 7, which is Casa Loma. Then it comes down Spadina to number 8, which is Spadina and Bloor. And it makes its way to number 9, which is the Bata Shoe Museum. Up next is the Brom and Gardner Museum at Bloor Street and Avenue Road. Then we have number 11. So it comes down on University, then turns into 11, which is the AGO in Chinatown. Then it makes its way down all the way to Queen and goes to this street here, number 12, which is Scotiabank Theatre. 13, the Bell Lightbox. And then 14, which is the CN Tower North. All the way to 15, which is Union Station. And that's on Front Street. Then it goes to 16, which is the CN Tower and Ripley's Aquarium. And then we've got 17, which is the Radisson Hotel. This is right beside the water. And then it goes, so here then we have a boat tour. I think from point 17, they walk you down here to where the amphitheater is. And this is where the boat tour starts. It goes through this dotted line outline here. Then once you go back to point 17, you get back on the bus and it takes you down here through Queens Quay West all the way to number 18, which is the Hockey Hall of Fame. That's right about here. Just to get a better look for you guys. And then you get to 19, which is St. Lawrence Market. That'd be right here. And then the last stop here is number 20 at the Distillery District. Once you get to the Distillery District, the bus then turns all around from here on the north side all the way to Bay, takes Bay north until Queen Street, and it turns east all the way back to the starting point at 1 Dundas Street East, which is the intersection of Yonge and Dundas. Yeah, it looks like this bus is loading up passengers for the next run. Let's take a closer look. And over there is the information booth where you can buy tickets and get more information about the city sightseeing tour. It's quite a bit of a lineup today. How's it going? There we go.
Thank you. Perfect.
Thank you.
You can go, yeah.
Oh, thank you. Earphones, nice. Here we are. Here's the driver's seat. Here's the lower floor. And usually people don't opt for the lower floor because everyone wants to be on the upstairs. Here's the stairs. Here's a look out. Let's see which seats are available. Looks like there are seats available at the back. Let's go all the way to the back so we can get a clear view. Here's a look around us. So they gave us these earphones. They got this thing where you can plug them into And you can listen to the tour guide. I'm going to open these earphones here. And I'm going to plug these earphones in. Open it up. Okay. So it says put the plug in here. Alright. Here's a look at Dundas Square. And here's some of the LED billboards in the area. This one is on top of the Toronto Eaton Centre. And we're now just waiting for everyone to board and then get their seats. And we will shortly be on our way. It seems like the tour guide is now on the microphone. There's the Aura building, and here's the Metropolitan Toronto University building. I should say Toronto Metropolitan University building. Those windows have stickers on them. And so those stickers prevent birds from crashing into the glass. And that building is also being certified. The Chelsea Hotel, 1,590 rooms. It's the largest hotel in Canada. It also has downtown Toronto's only indoor water slide, which you can see onto the left, right there. It's that blue slide. And we're now at Yonge and Gerrard Street. There's the IKEA urban format store. The Aura building is 79 stories tall. One of the largest buildings in Toronto. Here's College Park, which was built during the Great Depression. Frank Sinatra has performed at this building. This building is very aesthetic and beautiful. Now on Yonge Street, it's the longest street in the world, 1,896 kilometers. Apparently, Yonge Street is no longer the longest street in the world. This is fire hall number 3 coming up, which is one of the oldest fire stations in Toronto. So he's saying that when the Raptors won, the Raptors basketball team was on this bus as well. There's one Bloor East, 76 stories tall. There's Scotiabank. And there's a Tim Hortons. Here's Wellesley Street and a look east on Wellesley Street. And coming up is a CAA theater. And you'll see the Merfish sign. And so this is one of the oldest theaters in the city. Here it is. Here's the Toronto the Reference Library, one of the largest libraries in the city of Toronto. Some people call this the research library because people from all over Ontario can come by and reference the material here. But also operates like a regular library as well. Now we're turning onto Yorkville Avenue and we're going to be moving west. It's designed by the architect Raymond Moriyama. And so architecture runs in his family. And the same architects for the Toronto Reference Library also designed the Bata Shoe Museum. There's a look north on Yonge Street. Four Seasons Hotel and Residences. So here's the Yorkville location of the Toronto Public Library, and this is one of the oldest libraries. It could be the first library in Toronto, and that's why it has this kind of old style architecture. And we got some branches coming up. There we go. Here's the Yorkville Fire Station. Here's Here's the Four Seasons Hotel and Residences. Mark Zuckerberg owns property in this building. And we're now entering Yorkville past Bay Street. Apparently he just said that Pussy Terry's has a kind of coffee that's being sold for $600 a pound. Here's a Balenciaga store. This is a flagship Chanel store. There's Brunello Cucinelli and Keaton. Here's the Hazelton Hotel. Hazelton Hotel is very popular during the International Film Festival in Toronto. We're now turning south on Avenue Road. There's a look north on Avenue Road. And there's the Church of the Redeemer. This is one of the oldest churches in the city of Toronto. And this is where the Mink Mile ends, right here at Avenue and Bloor Street. And it goes all the way from here, Avenue and Bloor Street, to Yonge and Bloor Street. That stretch is called the Mink Mile. This is the Michael Lee Chin crystal. He donated $30 million to make this crystal to the Royal Ontario Museum. And there was another sightseeing bus that just passed by. The whole structure cost $270 million. There's the Royal Conservatory of Music. Many famous people have graduated from that institution. Here's the University of Toronto new stadium. Sorry. We have the longest and highest consecutive record of losses. Apparently Toronto lost 49 games in a row at one point. There's a hot dog stand in the Battered Shoe Museum. church that is, looks like it's being renovated. This is the Bloor Street United Church. We're now approaching Spadina Avenue. To the right is Spadina Road, and to the left is Spadina Avenue. There's the Miles Natal Jewish Community Center. Apparently people who were high class pronounced Spadina with the accent of Spadina, and the lower class people used to pronounce Spadina with the accent Spadina. We're now in the Annex, which is an upper class neighborhood in Toronto. Apparently Meghan Markle has lived in this neighborhood. Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds' rent was $13,000 a month. And a lot of students and professors live in this neighborhood. There's a spire in the distance that belongs to Casa Loma. Here's Bernard Avenue. And some of these houses are very old. Apparently the X-Men movies are from Casa Loma. We're now here at Spadina and DuPont, and this is DuPont Station, subway station. Here's a very low bridge coming up, and this apparently is the bridge that injures the most number of people on this bus. Alright, we passed the bridge. Here's the Toronto Archives. There's Casa Loma. And those are the stairs that lead up to Casa Loma. Here's the Waldorf Academy. And there's Canadian Hearing Services. now turning west on Davenport Road. There's stairs leading up to Casa Loma. And there's going to be branches we have to duck down to avoid. There's the wall around Casa Loma. And there's a white stone there that has history behind it. This is a look up north on Walmer Road. Here's George Brown College. And there's the CN Tower in the distance. So they're going to stop the bus for a bit, so people who want to go to Casa Loma can exit here. Looks like they're seeing if they can either get on the bus, if there's more seats available. On the left, there's a view of Casa Loma that's unique from here. Apparently this is the Disney view, but the trees are in the way. When the trees are not in the way, you can see both towers of Casa Loma, and they call that the Disney view because it resembles a Disney castle. And we're going back to the first bridge. This is one of the lowest bridges. The tour guide is saying, hold on to your hats and duck. Here, DuPont subway station. I believe that's a hydro station of some sort. blue glass balconies. There's Community Living Toronto building. Here's the Native Canadian Centre of Toronto. There's the Madison Avenue pub, and that's one of the most popular pubs in the city of Toronto. And there's Spadina Station. There's the Miles Natal Center, and there's a theater in there, there's a school in there, apparently there's a saltwater bath in there, and there's a second cup on the main floor as well. There's the CN Tower in the distance. Here's a look west on Bloor Street. Here's the University of Toronto schools. They only admit 25% of applicants. They need good marks, good extracurriculars, and several interviews. But the alumni of this school have their pick of schools for postgraduate admissions when they graduate. There's a mural. Here's the Bata Shoe Museum. It's designed to look like a shoebox. You'll find Elvis Presley's loafers, Elton John's shoes, samurai shoes, and even socks made of human hair and vegetable fabrics. Or vegetable fibers, maybe. This is the University of Toronto Varsity Blue Stadium. Your Center for Performance and Learning. And we're going to be making another stop here. Another view of the Michael Lee crystal. And here's a look at a sign that says Place Famille, Reed Family Plaza. And there's a sign that says Rom Boutique. And we're now going around towards the Gardner Museum. Right in this window is the most valuable collection. Here's a band that's playing. We're now turning south on Queen's Park. The Royal Ontario Museum is the largest museum in Canada. And so this here is the original entrance of the museum before the extension was built. The University of Toronto is one of the most prized universities, not only in Canada but also around the world. There were several movies filmed at the University of Toronto. Here's the Jackman Law Building. And on the left here is Queen's Park, which is named after Queen Victoria. There's a robotics library. Passed it a bit quickly. Looks like they're making a movie here. Here's the Ontario Legislative Building, and they legislate what happens in Ontario from this building. View of the legislative building. This is the Princess Margaret Cancer Research Center. They've already raised over $1 billion in support. East on College Street, or west I should say. There's Toronto General Hospital, and it has the most busiest emergency room out of all the hospitals in Toronto. Campbell Family Cancer Research Institute. Here's the Mount Sinai Hospital. And they got over 65 language interpreters in the building. There's the emergency center. On the left is Sick Kids Hospital, and they're dedicated to child health care. You can tell it's a children's hospital because inside is a lot more warmer. It's not like any other hospital. There's a UHN, Toronto Rehab University Center. That's the Fred A. Litwin Outpatient Center. And we're now turning west on Elm Street. Sick Kids Hospital also has puppy therapy, and they occasionally apparently have that person or a person in a Spider-Man or Batman costume walking around. Here's a Hasty Market. Here's a Toronto Rehab University Center. And inside they're doing an experimentation to try to reanimate paralyzed limbs. Here's bread and bowl, made fresh for you, salad, sandwiches, and pizza. Here's the Michener Institute of Education at UHN. And there's a branch. There we go. Some of these branches are very low. You gotta watch for them. Here's a Jimmy's Coffee and a Krispy Kreme Donuts. Here's a CN Tower again. These wires above us are live, and one can be electrocuted by touching them. Apparently they also have fines, so if someone touches these and gets electrocuted, then they also get a fine from the City of Toronto for using their electricity, for one fine per shock. Here's the Art Gallery of Ontario. Inside you'll find works of Rembrandt and Picasso. This elephant is a part of the city's work to recognize Indigenous artists. Now on the right is the Ontario College for Arts and Design. This is one of the best art schools in Canada. And these pillars resemble crayons. And the box on top resembles a pencil case. And this is a degree granting university. And there's a show called Kim's Convenience where the daughter attends Oakland University, and whenever they show the daughter going to university, that's the school that they show in the TV show. Here's the CN Tower. The CN Tower has 6 glass elevators, and it's a 58-second ride. There's some murals. Apparently the restaurant at the top of the CN Tower is the highest restaurant in the world. And we're now turning west on Queen Street, where there used to be the old Much Music building, and you'll now find CTV and City TV there. There's a mural on the wall that was made by OCAD students, and it's a car that is breaking through the actual building. And the idea is that CTV and City News deliver breaking news, and the artwork itself of the car breaking through the wall is called Breaking News. Here's Old Marvilo de Fred. That's the car that he's referring to that's breaking through the building. That car is called Breaking News. It's an artwork. It's breaking out of the Breaking News building, which is very clever. There's German doner kebab. Kebab's done right. There's Starbucks. That over there is a painted billboard that is a work in process by OCAD students. And there's very fine details on it. Here's a look west on Queen Street, and we're turning south on John Street. Here's a Rubik's Cube thing on top of the Scotiabank Theatre. This is downtown Toronto's first 3D IMAX cinema. And the reason why it's called the Entertainment District is because a lot of these buildings used to be empty. And so a lot of clubs, bars, restaurants set up in this area. And there's all things entertainment in one space, which is why they call this the Entertainment District. Here's Picardo's Restaurant Bar Cafe. But in this area now, a lot of the area is becoming residential, so you're finding less and less clubs and more condominiums. You can see the sky dome in the distance. In the Entertainment District, you'll find Canada's Walk of Fame. You'll find the Princess Alexandra Theatre, the International Film Festival. You'll find the Tiff Bell Lightbox. The Toronto International Film Festival is the largest film festival in North America and the second largest film festival in the world. Here's a look at the CN Tower. Movies screened during the International Film Festival include Hidden Tiger, Crouching Dragon, or Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, Silver Lining Playbook, Slumdog Millionaire, so on and so forth. That's an art installation connected to the Rogers Center, and that artwork is called The Audience. Here's the Bishop Hotel. And so you have the heckler, the happy one, the disappointed one, the angry one. Half the art installation is on this side of the Rogers Stadium, and the other half of the installation is on the other side of the Rogers Center. The Rogers Center is an iconic spot in our city, and there's a lot of foot traffic here. For our restaurant experience, the tour guide recommends the entertainment district because there's a lot of different restaurants in near proximity and in the same place. Here's some cool condos. Here's an overlook the CN Tower. Over there is the CBC building. Stands for Canadian Broadcasting Corporation. There's red plus signs on the windows, and they're made of rubber. There's a lot of shows are recorded in that building. Deal or No Deal. All these shows are made here. And there's the other half of the installation on the Rogers Center. There's a John W.H. Bassett Theater and a second cup. And so we're taking a break here. So people are getting off. And we're starting to go again. This is the Metropolitan Toronto Convention Center. This is one of the largest convention centers in Toronto. It's outfitted with audiovisual equipment and all sorts of stuff for conventions and events being held. Here's Intercontinental Hotel. Both Bill Clinton and Barack Obama stayed at the Intercontinental Hotel here at the presidential chambers. Here's the Azure restaurant and bar. There's the Fairmont Royal York, where the royal family stays when they visit Toronto. There's another building. Here's one of the lower bridges. And on the right is the CN Tower. The restaurant at the top spins in a 360-degree fashion. park. And behind us is the Scotiabank Arena where the Raptors play basketball. Here's the Ripley's Aquarium of Canada. This is one of our most celebrated tourist attractions. And people come from all over the world and all over Canada to visit. And CN Tower has this thing called the edge walk where you strap into this harness and you walk around the edge. Yeah, it seems like a quite busy day here today, both at the Aquarium of Canada and the CN Tower. So there are quite a bit of people here. And this is the CN Tower stop, where some of the people are getting off. Looks like there's a fountain there that's currently off. Here's the base of the CN Tower. Ripley's Aquarium of Canada. Here's the Rogers Center. This is home of the Toronto Blue Jays. And we're now entering the Harbourfront area. A lot of this used to be shipping ports back in the day, and now it's being revitalized into condominiums. Here's the Toronto Police Service Marine Unit. Here's the Radisson Hotel. There are the Toronto Islands. There's Lake Ontario. Here's the Harbourfront Center. And this is the stop where people are getting off to get the free boat ride. The ticket was about $60, and it comes with the free boat ride that takes you around the Toronto Islands. And away we go. There's a Rabba Fine Foods. It's open 24 hours. This here is the longest stoplight in the city of Toronto. There's a curved deck there, and represents the wave in Lake Ontario. Harbourfront used to be a very industrial place, and now the city of Toronto has created the Harbourfront area, and it made it more of a social scene in the city of Toronto. And that's why the Harbourfront Center is the home of all kinds of competitions and concerts and events. There's some boats docked in this space here. And the streetcars pass by. There's also more and more art installations coming to Harbourfront. There's a 510 Spadina to Union Station streetcar. There's the power plant. Here's the Harbourfront Center. There's the Toronto Harbour Commission. This shop here is the only shop in the city that's dedicated to selling beaver tails from morning to night. And the tour guide recommends trying the beaver tails. And there's the 510 going into the subway station below. Here's the Western Harbour Castle. And that's where you'll find the ferry to take you to the Toronto Islands. A lot of people go to the center island because that's the one where there's all this amusement park stuff and entertainments. Here's the Western Harbour Castle Conference Center. There's Alejandro's world famous Euros and the water taxi. There's some water taxis. We're now at the base and start of Yonge Street. There's the Toronto Star building. This is the Pinnacle 1 Yonge. This building, when it's complete, is going to be 96 stories. There's a lot of investment going on in the Harbourfront. A look east on Lakeshore Boulevard. It's going to be a windy tunnel. And here we go. Going underneath the bridge. This is a pretty low bridge. There's the Hockey Hall of Fame. It's also the home of the Stanley Cup. Canada's first national sport is hockey. The second national sport of Canada is lacrosse. Here's Meridian Hall. Here's a mural. This is the Toronto Operetta Theatre. The St. Lawrence Centre for the Arts. There's Brixie Park. And here's some more branches that we have to avoid. Here's the Canadian Stage Company. And here's some more branches. Here's a mural on the Flatiron Building. This building is called the Gooderham Building. And when it was first built, it was the tallest building in Toronto, believe it or not. And the tour guide says that this is probably the most expensive, if not one of the most expensive places in the city of Toronto for office space. And here's a Rexall drugstore. We're approaching the St. Lawrence Market, and they've earned the record for being the #1 food market in the world, and apparently it's one of the top 10 according to National Geographic markets in the world. And we're now passing Church Street. Here's Le Papillon on front. There's a Metro supermarket. And we've got some branches coming up. There's the St. Lawrence Market. That's the South Building. And here are the patios outside of Lane Lawrence Market. Here's Market Street. And across the street here is the new north side of St. Lawrence Market. Looks like they got some booths outside. This is stop 19 on the map of the City Sightseeing Tour bus, and so this is where some of the people are getting off to visit the St. Lawrence Market. Yeah, it looks like there's some people waiting to get on as well. Here's another look at the north side of the St. Lawrence Market, which is currently under development. When it gets completed, it's going to be an amazing building. Already it's very aesthetic. It's got a very beautiful design to it. So I think when this is completed, it's probably going to be one of the most beautiful buildings in the city. Here's a look at the entrance of the St. Lawrence Market. Yeah, looks like we're going to take a break here for a bit. And there's our tour guide again. South on Jarvis, and look north on Jarvis. There's a north St. Lawrence Market building from the east. There's a Booster Juice and a Popeyes. Apparently this building was featured in a scene from the film American Psycho. The tour guide is saying it's the business card scene in American Psycho. I haven't seen the movie, so I wouldn't know which scene they're referring to. Here's Young People's Theater. That's where Drake started from the bottom. And here's a St. Lawrence location of the Town Public Library. Rabba 24 hours. There's a view down Lower Sherburne Street. There's a bar there that was featured in the movie Good Will Hunting, where Matt Damon says the line, "How you like them apples?" There's a No Frills. And Toronto Fire Station 333. Here's the Canadian Opera Company. One can go in there and watch an opera. Here's the Air Miles building. You can see the logo from here, in the top right corner. Construction. Over here, they found the remnants of the very first Parliament building in Toronto. There's the distillery district in the distance there. Here's a downtown car dealership. Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. The movie Cinderella Man was filmed ahead in the distillery district. And this is stop 20 on the City Sightseeing Tour bus map. Looks like there's someone coming onto the bus. There's some more people maybe. Apparently during the winter time there's a lot of music and celebration that takes place at the distillery district. It's called the Toronto Christmas Market. The tour guide highly recommends it. Some construction going on. And off we go. Gooderham and Worts is named after two British brother-in-laws. District. Looks like it's quite busy today. Here's a data center. And we're now turning north on Parliament Street. There's the head office of the Globe and Mail. The Globe and Mail is considered the upper echelon of Canadian journalism. George Brown from George Brown College is the person who was responsible for founding the Globe and Mail newspaper. This is the Toronto Police Service, 51 Division. That's where the Porsche dealership was over here, and the Staples, which have both relocated. We're now in Corktown, and to the right there is a school in there. There you'll find one of the last old houses in Toronto that's protected by the Heritage Act. It's coming up on the right. This is one of Toronto's last wooden houses. There it is. Pretty unique. It's now home to Neglia Design. This is the other side of the Globe and Mail Center building. Here's the Coca-Cola office. Bank. A lot of investment is taking place in this neighborhood. A lot of buildings going up. Over on the left, you will see the Chef's House. And the Chef's House is a restaurant that's run by the George Brown College culinary students right here. And you can go in there and order a meal. Cool clock there. This is the St. Lawrence Hall building. Here's St. Lawrence Dental. Here's Bombay Palace. I don't know if they're still open. Looks like they might be closed. I think they may have closed because of the pandemic. Here's a look east on Adelaide Street. This, I believe, is an artwork. See if I can put up an information board if I find one. Here's Mystic Muffin. 28 years in business, 781 billion served. That's not what you can do for your tuna on pita, but what your tuna on pita can do for you. Here's a look east on Richmond Street. Some more branches. And this is the Publicist Marketing Group, which is a group that's behind many of the marketing agencies. Here's the Canadian Venture Building. This is a nice looking building. There's a Metropolitan United Church. We're now entering Toronto's financial center. Here's an amazing condominium development here. On the walls. There's a store called Friends Convenience and Groceries. Here's a look north on Victoria Street. Here's the Cambridge Hotel. Here's a look north on Yonge Street. steakhouse. Were filmed here. Apparently the same architect who designed the reference library also designed the old City Hall building. On the left is the new City Hall, and there's Nathan Phillips Square. Nathan Phillips Square is named after Toronto's first Jewish mayor. We're now turning east on Queen Street. Cadillac Fairview Tower. Here's the Hudson's Bay. Look south on Yonge Street. St. Michael's Hospital is one of our biggest trauma centers in the city of Toronto. Here's the Metropolitan United Church. And we're now turning north on Church Street. Here's a look east on Queen Street. We're now traveling north on Church Street. That white building is the student residence at Ryerson University, or I should say Toronto Metropolitan University. On the left here is the St. Michael's Cathedral Basilica. It's a modern basilica. And there's a choir in there that has competed toe-to-toe with Vatican City, and they've won. To be considered a basilica, a church needs to have artifacts, relics, and paintings and staff that are considered parish. So it's a pretty big deal to have that status of being called a basilica. And there's a mural in the distance here. Here's an A&W. We're now in the Garden District. This is Shooter Street. Here's a look north on Church Street. We're now turning west on Shooter Street. Here's St. Michael's Catholic Basilica. And here's Massey Hall coming up. This is a Lee Cushing Knowledge Institute. Here's the Pantages Hotel and Friends Restaurant. Across the street here is Massey Hall. And here in front of us is now the Eaton Center. And we're now ending the bus tour. Back at the first stop at Dundas Square. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you like this video, please hit the like button. For more videos like this, please hit the subscribe button and the bell notification icon. And I will see you in the next one. Take care. Hi, can I go back to go get the boat tour?
Boat tour, yeah, you can sit on the boat.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, cool, thanks. And how long is the boat tour?
45 minutes.
Do I have time to get something to eat?
Right?
Do I have time to, once we get there to get something to eat?
You have 15 minutes.
Oh, okay, cool. Thanks.